Welcome everybody to my top 10 best historical anime ever. My name is Misty / Chronexia, and I have never struggled this much to make a video before. There were just too many good entries, so instead of giving you a righteous list like I normally do, this is gonna be purely following my taste. I don't expect anyone to agree with it, but I still want to make it. So here are my 10 favorite historical anime. Also, let me take a moment to tell you that this video was sponsored by 11 Arts. They're a distribution company that brings anime to the West. This upcoming Friday, August 24th, 2018, they're launching Laughing on Dirty Clouds Gaiden Part 1 and 2. It's going to hit the theaters all over America. So if you like historical anime, as I'm assuming you do because you're here watching this list, then definitely consider going to see this movie. It's going to be in its original language with English subtitles. It's absolutely astonishing visually and incredibly moving emotionally. The story takes place during the Meiji era and follows a few characters after the ban on blades has been invoked. Unfortunately, not everyone agree with this change of politics. Check it out, you'll be thoroughly smitten by this movie. Again, it hits the theater this upcoming Friday on August 24. But now let's talk about my list. Number 10, Arslan Senki. Arslan Senki is an anime I didn't think much of when I first started it, but it really grew on me. The premise begins with Arslan, a prince in a very prosperous land. His father, the king, is a kind lord who watches over his people, but after he's betrayed by his rank officer, the land is sieged and Arslan is forced to escape in the wilderness outside the city's castle. There begins his adventure to try and regain control of his father's land. Slight hiccups as there's also neighboring kingdoms, which he must face at the same time. The anime has a slight touch of fantasy, so it's not purely historical. Very few of these entries are going to be, but Arslan Senki had something endearing that I recommend trying out. Number 9, Drifters. Drifters is a bit of an oddball. Again, it leans more on the fantasy side, but it actually follows historical figures like Oda Nobunaga, Yoichi Tsukitaka Nasu, and then you also have people like Jeanne d'Arc. I don't really want to call it the battle royale of historical figure, but it's the battle royale of historical figure. Summoned in this new world, these people have to fight off Ends, which are evil forces. Great mix of action and adventure with a likable cast. Drifters is a show I see a lot of people put on the back burner for whenever they'll have time for it. If you can make some extra time this weekend, consider it. It's a lot better than I can make it sound like. Or, you know, try a different title. I'm not your dad. I mean, I'm your daddy, but I'm not your dad. This is getting confusing. Number 8, Sere no Moribito. Sere no Moribito might be a hit or miss for some people. The premise is about a myth where a land becomes drought, and to bring prosperity to it again, they had to slay a water demon. That worked once, but several years later, the drought is back. This time the water demon takes form inside the emperor's son. As the emperor plot to assassinate his own son, you know, like a real dad would do, a wandering spearwoman rescued a kid and is tasked with protecting him from the huntsmans. It's a tale about bonding between character and covers themes like should the life of one be destroyed for the greater good of other people and stuff like that. Good anime, maybe higher than the rest on its moral ground, still an interesting watch that I recommend on an off day or an on day. Number 7, one of my personal favorite, KATANAGATARI. This number 7 does not give this anime justice. It's so good. Can we bump it up? Can we boop it all the way to like number 3, please? Editing Lord? No? Okay. It's so good. 12 episodes of 50 minutes each, meaning essentially 24 episodes of a standard format. is a full story during the Edo period. The main character, Shichika, is a master swordsman in his own style. He fights using his own body as a blade. One day, a strange lady walks in and she requests his help in recovering 12 magical swords known as the Divine Blades. That's not a website, you're thinking of something else. Together, they must team up and face super strong enemies who don't see eye to eye with a girl's ideology. A masterpiece in the anime industry, this anime has everything to offer, and again, this ranked number 7 truly doesn't do it justice. Check it out, you will not be disappointed. Number 6, Mononoke. Let's go all the way back to feudal Japan. In that era is Kusuri Uri, a wandering medicine seller which also moonlights as an exorcist to banish evil spirits. Despite the flashy colors and non-traditional art, this anime is actually a horror anime. So I should probably lead with that for the faints of heart who don't really enjoy the spooks. Like my wife, she cannot stand ghost stories, movies, books, any kind of medium about ghosts. But hey, if you're a tougher cookie than she is, you might find this enjoyable. I should also mention this anime has a lot of Japanese lore hidden throughout it. If you're not too savvy about the culture, some aspect might just fly over your head. But it shouldn't hinder your experience in any way, so give it a shot regardless. Number 5, Bacano. In the historical list? What? What? You think to be considered historical it has to be 500 years old? Would you consider the Second World War to be historical? And for sure, a story that happens in the 1930s should count as well. Not that it should matter anyway, because it's still jumped back all the way to the 18th century. The story is about several small stories. One is about the transcontinental train, which is leaving from Chicago on a journey that's gonna cause a lot of blood. While this is happening, you also have two scientists in New York trying to score the immortality elixir, and back in 1711, alchemists try to find a special recipe. Make a pie. No, I don't know. This is a show that will require your utmost attention, but is definitely worth the price. If you enjoy alchemy, this is your babe. Number 4, Kingdom. Kingdom is a purebred and military historical anime. This is what you came to get, expectedly. However, compared to everything else, this one isn't based on Japanese lore. It's actually about the Chinese one. Ha! Bamboozled again. So, as usual, please forgive my pronunciation of the language. I know jack squat about it. I do know, however, that Kingdom is an outstanding anime that constantly builds upon itself for an incredible climax at the end. The plot follows Xingli, 90% sure that's not how you say it, a war-orphan slave that has the dream of becoming a great general. After getting separated from his childhood friend, Xingli ends up in the company of Zhengying, a proper king. If you have the time to watch 77 episodes of Chinese Revolution, it will shatter all your expectations. If you drop it halfway, you'll lose out a lot on the final delivery, but it's your time, you do whatever you want with it. Number 3, Rainbow Nisha Rokubu no Shichinin. Another one that's not all that far in the past. I figured if I was gonna do an historical list, I might as well dig some recent stuff mixed with the oldies, and Rainbow is just the gal you want. The story takes place in a Japanese correctional center where 6 teenagers arrives after being arrested. Each of them has criminal charges, but after meeting their cellmate, they start to form a special bond, and they all vow to meet outside of jail once their time is up. With this renewed hope, they try to make it through each day, but it's pretty tough. Between power abuse and getting beat up by the guards, this anime will have you feel a lot for the inmates. If you like Shawshank Redemptions or Dead Man Wonderland, you'll love this one for sure. 聞いてもいいですか? Number 2, RUROUNI Kenshin. This is the anime you want. If you want the ultimate historical adventure that ends with an absolute gut-wrenching ending, you have to see this anime. It's a little older since it started airing in '96, but if you're willing to look past it, you'll have a grandiose story about a wandering swordsman with a legendary past who has sworn to never kill again. I don't want to give any more away, but if you're looking for a likable character in an historical shonen setting, this might be worth considering. It should be number 1, but I wanted to end on a different note than my usual, so if the next one doesn't appeal to you, remember to come back to Kenshin, you won't regret it.
SHOUWA 今のおっさんの死神だろ。へい。好きすぎて覚えちまった。似合わない。まるでコントだね。
And finally, number 1, my favorite historical anime of all time is Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju. Yeah, this is my number 1 pick, but I clearly understand that this is not for everyone. You need a fair bit of Japanese culture to be able to grasp the theme of this anime. The premise is about a former Yakuza member who, after doing time in prison, decides to become a Rakugo writer. Rakugo is a specific form of comedy that involves storytelling. After seeing a performance in jail, it has completely changed him, and now he seeks the man of this performance to become his apprentice. This anime has a lot to offer for those willing to listen, but again, it is a very selective pick that I don't expect everyone to enjoy, so go back to the previous one if this one isn't for you. And it was with a resounding disappointment that Misty ended this list, without being able to include all of the other legendary titles that would deserve a spot on here. Thankfully, Viewer-chan was there to pick up the slack and promptly rush to their keyboard, typing with a fury that only the comfort of internet anonymity could provide. Without any remorse, Viewer-chan pressed enter and looked gleefully at their comments. They knew their senpai would notice. Get bent, scrub! Oh well, quick reminder to not miss out Eleven Art's new movie, Laughing Under the Clouds Gaiden Part 1 and 2, that's coming out to theater Friday, August 24th. It's really soon, so don't miss it. You'll regret it, because it's good. Thanks for listening, have a fun watch, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Hard times, I've been on the wrong side, I've been ashamed. So many memories, you know I'd like to change.